I've been in the cruise industry for over 2 decades, and I'll be honest with you, some of what I'm about to share, I wish I'd told people sooner, because every single sailing, seniors over 65 walk off that gangway and straight into traps that are specifically designed to look legitimate. Not shady back alley stuff. I'm talking polished, confident, lanyards and clipboards traps that would fool anyone. And do. You already know how a cruise works. You've probably done this before. But the shore excursion game has gotten a lot more sophisticated, and the mistakes I'm seeing cost people real money. Missed ships, emergency flights, $300 gone before lunch. Stay with me to the end. The last trap on this list, that's the one that's hit more of my former passengers than any other, and it's the one nobody warns you about. Number 1. The ship guarantee trap. Let's start with the one that looks like a good deal, because it is until it isn't. When you book a shore excursion directly through your cruise line, you have a guarantee most people don't even realize exists. If that tour runs late and you miss the ship, the line gets you to the next port. They cover it. It's their tour, their problem. Book the exact same excursion through a third-party website, even a reputable-looking one, and that guarantee is gone. Completely. If something goes wrong, you're buying your own flight to catch up with the ship. A retired teacher named Carol, 69, from Michigan, saved $40 booking a glacier tour in Juneau outside the ship. The van broke down. The ship sailed. Carol spent $1,100 getting herself to Vancouver. $40 saved, $1,100 spent. Before you book anything, check your cruise line's approved vendor list. If the operator isn't on it, factor the guarantee into your savings math. Because the next trap, it starts before you even reach the excursion desk. Number 2. The fake dock greeter. Look, I've seen this one fool 20 cruise veterans. That's how good it is. The moment you step off the gangway, there are people waiting. Matching polo shirts, lanyards, clipboards. They look exactly like cruise line representatives. They're not. They're independent vendors who have learned, specifically, what cruise line employees look like. And they dress accordingly. They'll redirect you, offer a preferred passenger rate, hand you a laminated card, and the whole thing happens in the 60 seconds when you're still getting your bearings in an unfamiliar port. Picture this. You've waited 14 months for your Alaska cruise. You step off in Ketchikan and a confident woman in a blue polo says, "Right this way. Your excursion group is boarding." You follow. She has nothing to do with your ship. Here's the only defense you need. Your confirmed excursion shows up in your ship's app or on a printed slip from your cabin. If someone approaching you isn't on that list, just keep walking. Politely, firmly, keep walking. But here's where the traps get more personal, and this one targets a vulnerability that most seniors are too polite to challenge. Number 3. The accessible tour upsell. This one bothers me more than most on this list. Port vendors near popular Alaska and Caribbean stops have started advertising fully accessible private tours, usually priced $80 to $150 above comparable ship excursions. Private van. No stairs. Door to door. Premium experience. That's the pitch. What you often get is a standard vehicle, no accessibility equipment, and a driver who has never been asked about his passengers' actual needs, because nobody told him. A woman named Margaret, 72, from Florida, booked what was advertised as a wheelchair-accessible whale watching tour out of Juneau. When she arrived at the boat, there was one steep step. No handrail. She couldn't board. The operator wouldn't refund her. She sat on the dock for 3 hours while her group was on the water. If mobility support is essential to your trip, and there's no shame in that, plenty of experienced cruisers need it, book through the cruise line directly. And ask them in writing, not just verbally, to confirm what accessible actually means for that specific tour. The next trap is designed to sound like rules. It isn't. Number 4, the government shopping stop lie. I want you to remember this one word for word because the moment you hear it, you'll know exactly what's happening. A tour guide pulls the van over and announces you'll be making a required government stop, usually a jewelry shop, sometimes a gem dealer or a craft market. Passengers are told they need to exit the vehicle for 20 to 30 minutes. There is no such government requirement, not in Jamaica, not in Cozumel, not anywhere on any cruise itinerary I've ever seen. What there is a commission arrangement between your guide and that shop. He gets a cut of whatever you spend. Now look, you're not being forced to buy anything, but you feel obligated. You browse. You spend $60 on something that sells for $15 at the port market 2 blocks away. When you hear the phrase government required stop, that is the signal, not a policy, a sales script. You can stay in the van. You can browse without buying. Just know what it is before it happens to you. Number 5, the Excursion social media ad. This one's growing fast, and it's targeting our audience specifically, which is why I want to spend a moment on it. Sponsored posts on Facebook advertise discounted cruise excursions with photos of the exact ports you're visiting. The pricing is just credible enough. $79 for a snorkel tour, $95 for a dog sled experience in Skagway. The checkout page looks like it could be an official cruise page. You pay. And then there's no confirmation, no tour, no working phone number. FTC data from 2025 shows the average loss per fake travel booking incident runs between $250 and $1,200. And seniors over 65 are disproportionately targeted. Not because of anything negative about this audience, but because of higher disposable income and a higher level of trust in what looks like an official advertisement. The check is simple. Search the operator's name alongside your cruise line's name. If they're not on the approved vendor list, don't send money. A reverse image search on the tour photos takes 30 seconds and will often reveal the same photo used across 6 different tour companies. This is a good moment to stop. Do you know what happens when you get hurt on a third-party excursion and the operator carries no insurance? It's not a hypothetical. It happens every season. If you've been finding this useful, hitting subscribe takes 2 seconds. The second half gets into the traps that hit after you've already paid, and they're harder to undo. Number 6, the insurance blind spot. Here's something that catches experienced cruisers off guard just as often as first-timers, maybe more because experienced cruisers think they've already handled this. Your ship's medical team will treat you if something goes wrong. Your travel insurance will cover some costs, but third-party excursion operators often carry no liability coverage of their own. None. If you're injured on their tour, they owe you nothing legally. And in many ports, you'll have no practical way to pursue them. A man named Robert, 68, from Texas, slipped on a wet dock during an independent kayaking tour near Sitka. The operator had no insurance. Robert's travel policy covered the ER visit, but not the $3,400 helicopter evacuation back into the ship's area. One question before you book any independent tour: are you licensed and insured? If the answer is vague, oh yes, of course, with nothing specific behind it, that vagueness is your answer. An insured operator can tell you exactly who their carrier is. The next trap sounds like good value. That's what makes it work. Number 7, the all-inclusive. That isn't. I want to show you exactly how this works because the math is pretty revealing. You book what's labeled an all-inclusive shore excursion, let's say a bear-watching float plane tour in Ketchikan for $120 per person. Sounds complete. You arrive at the dock. The operator collects a $25 national park access fee, then a $15 equipment waiver, then there's an optional photo package for $40. And here's the thing, everyone around you is paying for it, so it feels mandatory even though it isn't. Your $120 tour is now $200 per person. Before tip, this isn't a scam, it's completely legal. All-inclusive on an excursion listing typically refers only to the activities themselves. Gratuities, park fees, equipment, and upgrades are almost never included unless the listing says so explicitly. Read the Not Included section of every booking before you leave the ship. Not at the dock. On the ship, the night before, when you have time to compare alternatives and make a calm decision. The next trap is specific to right now. Alaska season just opened. Number 8. The Alaska Timing Trap. Alaska cruise season runs May through September, and I'm bringing this up specifically because we're right at the start of it. Here's what cruise lines don't communicate well. The most popular ship-sponsored excursions in Juneau, Skagway, and Ketchikan sell out weeks before departure. The whale watching, the glacier hikes, the float planes, gone. Often before you've even started packing. When those ship excursions are full, seniors turn to port vendors, which is exactly the environment where traps 2, 3, 6, and 7 on this list are waiting. A woman named Dorothy, 74, from Oregon arrived in Skagway to find both her preferred glacier excursions sold out. She booked through a portside vendor. The tour ran 45 minutes shorter than advertised. The guide spoke limited English, and her refund request was declined. The fix is genuinely simple and there's no downside. Book all Alaska excursions at the same time you book your cabin, not 30 days out, not once you board. The same day you confirm the cruise. One more, and this one catches people on literally every cruise, not just Alaska. Number 9. The last-minute Pier pressure sale. This one is built around time, specifically your lack of it. As the ship approaches port, vendors who haven't sold their remaining spots start showing up at the gangway level offering walk-up deals, sometimes 40% below the ship's listed price. The time pressure is completely real. You have maybe 20 minutes before the dock gets chaotic. And if you feel like you missed out on pre-booking, this feels like your second chance. The problem is that in the time available, you cannot verify the operator, confirm their insurance, check any reviews, or even properly read their cancellation terms. You're making a $100 plus decision under manufactured urgency with someone you've never heard of. Here's exactly what I want you to do instead. Before every port day, the night before, during dinner, while it's calm, decide your fallback plan. If your preferred excursion is sold out, what's the backup and who is it booked through? Having that answer before the ship docks removes every bit of the urgency these vendors are counting on. The last trap is the one that costs the most, and unlike the others, it's completely avoidable if you know the one detail most people miss. Number 10. The cancellation fee trap. Most seniors don't know the cancellation window until they need it, and by then, it's too late. Most cruise lines require you to cancel excursions 48 to 72 hours before the port day to get any refund. Cancel the morning of, even with a legitimate reason, even because you woke up not feeling well. And on most lines, you lose 100% of what you paid. For a couple on a 7-day Alaska cruise with 3 shore excursions, that exposure can reach $600 to $900, sitting at risk on the morning of each port day. A retired couple, James, 71, and Helen, 68, from Virginia, were both booked on a whale-watching tour in Juneau. James developed vertigo the night before. They called to cancel at 6 a.m., 4 hours before departure. Full charge. $340 gone. Nothing they could do about it. The policy isn't hidden. It's in the booking confirmation. But most people don't read it until something goes wrong. Read the cancellation terms for every excursion at the time of booking, not the day before, not at the dock, at booking. Some operators are more flexible than the cruise line's own policy. Most are not. Knowing which one you're dealing with before you need to cancel is the whole game. Now you know what most seniors walk off the gangway not knowing, and that gap is exactly what these vendors count on. In my next video, I'm going to show you one specific line that appears on almost every senior cruiser's final shipboard statement, a charge that's completely negotiable at guest services, but only if you know to ask before you disembark. That's exactly what I'm covering next. See you there.